here. I've received two reports, Deputy Ferris, in relation to the safety aspects of Bord Gáis's award of a contract to the Balfour Beatty CLG joint venture. As I have no direct role or responsibility in relation to a tender process or contract award by a commercial semi-state company, the focus of my scrutiny in this instance is to ensure that both BGE and the Commission for Energy Regulation have carried out their duties appropriately and effectively, and that their respective assessment processes have been robust. I've received a report from Bord Gáis, whose management and board have a legal and fiduciary responsibility to ensure compliance with both procurement and safety requirements. I've also received a report from the regulator, which has the statutory responsibility of regulating the activities of natural gas undertakings with respect to safety. The Bord Gáis report advises that the safety instances previously highlighted by Deputy Ferris, some of which date back 10 to 15 years, should be seen in the context of the scale of the Balfour Beatty Group, which employs over 270,000 people and has 163 subsidiary companies. The Bord Gáis report provides safety statistics for Balfour Beatty Utility Solutions and CLG Developments Limited, which are the partner companies in the joint venture. Bord Gáis considers that these compare favourably to UK and Irish construction industry statistics. The report advises that following a rigorous assessment process, Bord Gáis is satisfied that the Balfour Beatty CLG joint initiative is fully qualified to undertake its obligations to the high safety standards demanded by Bord Gáis networks. The regulator report advises that following a detailed evaluation of the change to the Bord Gáis safety case on foot of the new network services and works contract, the regulator has accepted the change, and a further verification process is in place, including audits and inspections by the regulator to ensure that the change is managed effectively. My officials are currently assessing both reports, together with additional clarifications subsequently received, and will forward their own assessment to me shortly. In the interim, and as I have no direct responsibility in relation to the award of the contract in this instance, I have asked Bord Gáis to write directly to Deputy Ferris in relation to the issues that he has raised in regard to this matter.
Thank you, Les Controller. The last time I raised this issue here with you, Minister, you asked that I forward on the evidence that I had, which I done. Minister O'Dowd asked similar, which I done to him, and I forwarded to the regulator. And I'm not quite certain that enough attention has been given to the safety aspect of it. And you might have mentioned that it's going back over 10 years. And it is going back over 10 years, some of it. But let me refer particularly to 2008 and 2009. In 2008, Balfour Beatty was fined 2.25 million sterling after the British Series Fraud Squad found them guilty of false accounting. In 2009, they were fined 5.2 million sterling by the Office of Fair Trading for corrupt practices in securing construction contracts.
Could you frame a question, please?
Yeah, I can. Now, Minister, in light of that, how can Balfour Beatty be in compliance when they are not in compliance with Section 3.9 of the Finance, which states candidates or tenders who have been convicted or involvement in organised crime, of fraud, corruption and money laundering must be excluded from performing a public service? Taking that directly, quote directly, 3.339 directly, and quote it directly to you, how can Balfour Beatty be in compliance in light of the fact of the convictions in 2008 and 2009?
I ask the Minister to reply.
Well, Kencolia, we're talking about a very serious issue here, which is safety in the gas system. And I've already set out for the House the statutory responsibilities in that regard. And I take the allegations made by Deputy Ferris very seriously, and I acted on them following him bringing them to my attention last question time. And I have since received the two reports to which I referred, one from Bord Gáis itself and one from the regulator. And, you know, I'm not in a position to second guess the regulator. I have put on the record why the regulator is satisfied that this company, despite the blemishes on its record to which Deputy Ferris refers, is competent and qualified and has a track record to deal with the functions allocated to it as a result of this contract. I mean, it is a company with some 270,000 employees, 163 different subsidiary companies. And in terms of, I won't say a global reach, but in terms of a European reach in any event, you will see this company operating and providing these services right across Europe. So that's the advice available to me, Las Concordia, and I have no reason to second guess the regulator in that regard.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy Ferris.
Again, Minister, I want to refer to the Department of Finance criminal conviction guidelines of fraud. Somebody is convicted of fraud. It precludes them from performing a public contract. It's quite clear that Balfour Beatty in 2008 were fined 2.25 million sterling after the British fraud squad found them guilty of false accounting. So it's quite clear. Here's a company that's been awarded. I understand that all of this is subject of a court case that's pending at the moment, but the fact that your Department of Finance guidelines effectively do not allow a company who has had a fraud conviction of getting a public
Thank you, Deputy.
Getting a public contract. And I think it's contradictory. You make reference to safety and you talk about the amount of people that is working for them. The convictions are there.
Thank you.
Back
Call on the
over
Minister
12 years.
for
But this is 2008 and 2009. And I would ask you to investigate that.
Thank you, Minister. To final reply.
Well, Las Concordia, I don't know about the false accounting allegation, and if the matter is still before the courts, I suppose we should let the court make its decision. But I repeat, a transnational company that has 163 subsidiaries, I don't know if any of the persons involved in the alleged false accounting has got anything to do with the company involved in the joint venture for the provision of services here. But on the false accounting one, I will, and I've written to Deputy Ferris on the other matters that he raised with me, I will pursue the question of the false accounting. Cancolia, Bord Gáis Éireann is the owner of the National Gas Transmission and Distribution Systems and is mandated with the development and maintenance of the natural gas network under the Gas Act of 1976. The Commission for Energy Regulation is the statutorily independent body charged with all aspects of the licensing of transmission and distribution operators. A key legal responsibility of the regulator is to promote the safety of natural gas for customers and the public generally. The regulator's remit now also includes specific responsibility for natural gas safety. The Energy Miscellaneous Provisions Act of 2006 empowered the regulator to regulate from a safety perspective undertakings involved in gas transmission, distribution, storage, supply and shipping. The regulator has established a natural gas safety regulatory framework, including a system for the inspection and testing of natural gas transmission and distribution pipelines. The regulator places obligations on undertakings to ensure that any safety risks associated with their operations are reduced to as low as reasonably practicable. Bord Gáis Éireann's transmission and distribution operations are subjected to ongoing audit and inspection by the regulator. Additionally, Bord Gáis Éireann reports quarterly to the regulator on a comprehensive range of safety performance indicators to verify that all operations are in compliance with the overall natural gas regulatory framework. Safety is Bord Gáis Éireann's first priority, and the company is committed to ongoing development and maintenance of the gas networks and systems to ensure safety and to deliver continuous safety improvement and performance. BGE also has a continuous programme of safety promotion, including the gas efficiency service, the dial before you dig service, promotion of registered gas installers, and public awareness of the dangers of carbon monoxide. Since its establishment, BGE has developed and modernised a national gas distribution pipeline network of nearly 11,000 kilometres and a gas transmission pipeline network of over 2,000 kilometres, as well as 2 interconnectors with Scotland. There are over 640,000 gas users in Ireland. BGE operates the networks in compliance with recognised Irish and international quality and safety standards. I have every confidence in BGE's priority commitment to safety and its safety and emergency response service. There is never room for complacency, however, and BGE itself is engaged in a constant process of safety review and enhancement, working with the regulator.
Thank you. Deputy Ferris.
Minister, are you aware that a British company, Balfour Beatty, has been awarded a $400 million contract for the maintenance of Bord Gáis? And are you aware that this company in 1997 were fined $1.2 million following the collapse of a tunnel in Heathrow which they built? Are you aware that in 1999 they were fined £500,000 after a train derailed a section of the line laid by them? In 2006 they were fined £7.5 million after a train crash which cost 4 lives and 100 injuries on a section of the line that they maintained. In 2007 they were fined £180,000 after a fatal electrocution of one of their line maintenance workers. In 2008 they were fined £2.25 million after serious fraud officers found them guilty of falsely accounting. And in 2009 they were fined £5.2 million by the Office of Fair Trading for corrupt practices in securing construction contracts. Giving the light of the record of Balfour Beatty, do you now believe, Minister, that this is a suitable company to be given responsibility for the safety of our gas network?
Minister.
Cancolia, the Deputy has read out a list of allegations there. The tendering process was in accordance with the requirement that surrounds these things. The tender for services was issued through the European Journal. I'm aware of some of the background that the Deputy has said, but he has listed a list of allegations that I can't say are true or otherwise. But the tendering process was designed to bring in a company that had the expertise and had the established track record. And the advice I have is that this company is capable of discharging its responsibilities. I will have a look at what the Deputy has put on the record of the House. Some of it is entirely new to me.
Very quickly, Deputy.
Just supplementary. Thank you for your reply, Minister. I understand that this predates you, and I fully accept that. Are you aware that the February the 13th is the deadline, and that the company Balfour Beatty has to have 50% of current contractors under subcontract to them? One of those subcontractors was Emerald, which, as you know, in Kildare in the recent past. And are you also aware, Minister, that a member of the Bord Gáis Board of Directors was chairman of a subcommittee which awarded the contract? And ironically, his office is the Dublin address of Balfour Beatty, but he claims not to have taken part in the process. I find that very strange, that his office is in a company.
We want to be very careful, Deputy.
Yeah.
Impugning.
So, are you aware of that, Minister?
All I am aware of, Deputy, is that due care was taken in selecting this particular company. You know, my understanding is that some of the allegations that you have raised were raised at the time and were, I'm advised, satisfactorily disposed of at the time. But having regard to what the Deputy has said and put on the record, I certainly will investigate. I will investigate the matters that he has raised, because they're pretty serious allegations.
Thank you.